covering. So we will be covering like everything in the form of different phases, right? So in this phase one, what all we will be covering? We will be covering basics of Java. All right. This is like basically for beginner levels. Beginner level, those who are really very new to this core Java. So I will be teaching you all the steps, right, with a very simple explanation. Okay. So what all we will be covering here in this particularly Java. So first we will understand what Java is, okay, and why it is used. So I'm teaching you all just like maybe you're attending the live sessions. Okay, so don't worry about the notes, don't worry about the programs. I will be pushing it into GitHub, and definitely you will get it from that GitHub repository itself. Okay, you just need to focus here. That's it. And we will also see how to set up uh, like the JDK and what all IDEs that you can use it to go through with this program. Okay. Now here in this, before jumping to this installation part and everything, so probably this is a series. So we'll start with the basic first. So in this, first we will be covering like, some history of Java. Then we will be covering like, the JVM, what is JVM, what is JRE, what is JDK, okay. And then we'll also see the installation part, okay, of JDK. And the IDE which I will be using it here, the Eclipse. Probably you can use some more IDEs with that, like in IntelliJ, okay, or you may use VS Code, like a Visual Studio Code editor. So generally, organization they also prefer that beginners they should know how to write a code right from the basic. Okay, so that all we will be covering here. And then in this basic, obviously, we'll write first program, Java program, and the execution we'll see. Okay, so we'll see the execution of it, like how it executes internally. Find what is the role of JVM, what is the role of JRE, JDK. So first we will start with the very basic part from here, that what it is. Correct. Now let us first understand like what is Java. So you must be aware of like what is Java here. Everybody, right? So in this, if we just talk about the Java, it is a high level language. What is that? It is a high level language. Fine. What do you mean by high level language? So high level language, it's like a human language, right? So that human can easily understand, like a normal program that you will write in Java that is in a simple English sentence. Okay. So that is like a high level language, and it is object oriented as well. Okay. It is platform independent language. So don't worry about these terms. Fine. So I will also be covering all these terms one by one, right? Because I'm just telling you first what is Java here, right? So Java is a high level object oriented platform independent language. And why I'm writing it? Because when there will be an interview, obviously they will be asking like, what is Java? So straight away you can give and you can use all these words, okay? And you can tell the explanation in this way as the way that I'm explaining. Okay. So it is developed by James Gosling at Sun Microsystem in 1995. Okay. And originally named as Oak. Right. And then later on it was or you can say it renamed to Java. because the developer was very much inspired, by Java Coffee. Okay, Java Coffee. Now, as I said that Java is a high-level object-oriented programming language developed by Sun Microsystem, fine, but now it is owned by Oracle. Okay, that we should know. Okay, and it is platform independent. How it is platform independent? Who is making our code as a platform independent? So thanks to JVM, right, which makes our code as a platform independent. So we will be discussing in detail the JVM. So JVM, it's not only a virtual machine, right, that we are installing, but it also does or perform many roles. Okay, and why we use Java? So Java is used in creating web apps, okay, like mobile apps, okay, maybe the Android based as well, some enterprise level uh, systems, and many, right? So all these things that we are just, uh, we can say basically that these all are the main points. If somebody is asking like what is Java, so these are the main points that we can cover that Java is this. Okay. And the main part here is like Java is like a universal remote, right? That you can use that particular remote for anything. So similarly here, so you write code once and it works on any device. This is the best part of the Java is that it is platform independent, and we also call it as Vora. Okay, what we call Vora. So Vora is like write once and run anywhere. So you're writing a program like one time, but you can run it on any of the platform, on any of the machine. But how and who is making like that particular code is platform independent, that is your JVM. So JVM plays an important role here, right? So which we will be obviously looking into. Now, let's say if we talk about the third step is like there are different editions of Java. What we have. So there are different editions in Java that we have. Okay. So Java editions, like I'm talking about the main editions, not the versions. Okay. So here we are talking about the edition like we have. Okay. So what we have, the editions here, the first one is like you have J2SE. Okay. And this J2SE is basically, we called it as a Java standard edition, right? What we call Java standard edition. Now, this Java standard edition, we also used to call it as, not used to, obviously, we are calling it as core Java. Okay. We are calling it as core Java. And where we use it for creating a console based, desktop based applications. Okay. Or we can do a basic programming with that as well. So console or a desktop like on a standalone PC, right? And you want to first do some programming. So for that, you can see that core Java is the basic one, or you can say the fundamental that you need to learn everything about or related to the core Java first. So that is like J2SE, standard edition, which we call it as. Then we have a second type of edition here, that is the enterprise edition. Okay. So what we call it is like enterprise Java. So enterprise Java is also used to create for web apps, for web application, for server side programming, if we want to do. Okay. Server side programming, like obviously when we have a client and we have server, right? So The application that you are creating, fine, so that resides on the server. Okay, so those kind of applications, like in most of the organizations, they are using some type of applications like HR management system that they are using for that. In schools, they are using ERP softwares. In banking application or banking sectors, they are using a banking related applications. Fine. So all those applications that it resides on the server, we need to deploy it. Deploy means we need to install it onto the server side, right? And that we called it as a web apps. So web application, what we call web application. Okay. So this we used to use it basically to create some web applications. Now the third one is your J2M. So in this like J2SE, the core Java, for that we need a software just to install, that is a JDK. Here we will start our journey with servlets. Okay, we'll start with journey like a servlet and JSP, then we'll move to the Spring basics. Okay, then we'll move to Spring Boot here. Okay, and then we'll also see the microservice architecture. Right. And here we will also see about the databases, like how we can work with the Hibernate. Okay, so all these are the frameworks that we will be learning. So initially, the framework also we have there in the J2SE, and we call it as a collection. So basically, we'll talk about the collections right there in the J2SE as well. Now this is like a J2ME. Now what is that J2ME? J2ME is like a micro edition. Micro edition. Now which is used to create uh, mobile or some embedded systems, right? Then we have a full stack Java. So right now, obviously, everybody is focusing on that. So earlier, first they used to search for the core Java programmers, right? Then they used to search it for the separate, like, J2ME or the web developers. Then they obviously used to search for the developers, those who are aware of the J2ME part, like micro. But now they are searching each and every organization. They are looking for the full stack developers. Now, what is full stack? So full stack here, it combines front end. So usually, like earlier, we were focusing or we were hiring, or organizations were like hiring a different front end developer or separate front end developers also for that, right? But now when we have that full stack Java, so there what it says, that you should know the front end, you should know back end, and you should also know the database. That we called it as a full stack Java. Okay. So obviously it is also used for creating web applications and the enterprise level type of applications, not a normal web applications, but an enterprise level applications. Okay. So these are the Java editions that we have, and we will be